They were produced by This Is before I was in the band, but they were produced by Glenn Johns. For decades, fans have wondered what really went on behind the scenes of the Eagles. Now at 77, Joe Walsh reveals the 0:10 seconds untold truth about Don Henley. Stories of clashes, loyalty, and a bond that shaped one of rock's most legendary 0:19 seconds bands. What really happened between them? Keep watching to find out. In 1975, 0:27 seconds Joe Walsh walked into the Eagles studio carrying a guitar riff bursting with energy like a car racing down the 0:34 seconds highway. That riff would become Life in the Fast Lane, one of the defining songs of Hotel California. Few knew that Don Henley, the band's lead vocalist, 0:42 seconds initially resisted including it on the album. In a 2013 Rolling Stone interview, Walsh recalled, Don watched 0:53 seconds and play that riff and said, "That's too wild, Joe. It doesn't fit the Eagles' style." The disagreement lasted weeks, 1:011 minute, 1 second, but it ultimately fueled the creation of a masterpiece. Walsh, with his free-spirited rock approach, wanted the song bold and unrestrained. 1:091 minute, 9 seconds Henley, seeking depth, saw a bigger story in the riff, a cautionary tale about a life of luxury and danger. Glenn 1:191 minute, 19 seconds Fry, co-founder of the Eagles, stepped in as mediator. Walsh remembered him saying, "This riff is gold. Let Joe do 1:271 minute, 27 seconds what he's great at and then add your magic." After tense discussions, Henley agreed, crafting lyrics inspired by the band's 1970s lifestyle, endless parties, 1:361 minute, 36 seconds drugs, and fame. The result was a track that fused Walsh's roaring guitar with Henley's sharp vocals, creating a 1:481 minute, 48 seconds signature Eagles sound. The story didn't end there. In a 2016 Sirius XM interview, Walsh recalled that Henley later asked him to tone down the solo. Walsh sneaked in a few edgy notes, 1:571 minute, 57 seconds delighting audiences. That small act of rebellion captured the creative tension between Walsh and Henley, a clash that 2:032 minutes, 3 seconds produced one of the Eagles' greatest hits and hinted at future conflicts. In the early 1990s, Joe Walsh hit a 2:122 minutes, 12 seconds devastating low. Alcohol and drugs had taken over his life, turning the Eagles' guitar virtuoso into a shadow of his 2:202 minutes, 20 seconds former self. He drifted away from the stage, from recording sessions, and even from the friends who had once been his 2:272 minutes, 27 seconds closest allies. It was a dark period that threatened to end not only his career, but his very life. Amid that 2:352 minutes, 35 seconds darkness, Don Henley, stern yet deeply loyal, stepped in. Henley refused to let 2:422 minutes, 42 seconds Walsh spiral out of control. In a 2017 Washington Post interview, Walsh reflected, "Don and Glenn Fry saved me. 2:502 minutes, 50 seconds without them, I wouldn't be here today. 2:572 minutes, 57 seconds by 1994, as the Eagles prepared for their Hell Freezes Over reunion tour, 3:063 minutes, 6 seconds Henley and Fry confronted Walsh with a clear ultimatum. Walsh recalled in History of the Eagles 2013. 3:103 minutes, 10 seconds Don looked me straight in the eye and said, "Joe, either you get sober or there's no place for you in the Eagles." 3:163 minutes, 16 seconds no negotiations, no exceptions. 3:243 minutes, 24 seconds Henley went beyond words. He personally escorted Walsh to a rehab center in Arizona where the long and grueling road 3:323 minutes, 32 seconds to recovery began. Throughout the following months, Henley stayed in constant contact. Walsh shared in a 2016 3:353 minutes, 35 seconds CBS This Morning interview, "Don called me every week, asked how I was doing, 3:4:33 minutes, 43 seconds, but always reminded me, you have to do this yourself. Henley's tough love became the driving force that kept Walsh 3:5:23 minutes, 52 seconds moving forward, even when the temptation to relapse loomed large. When Walsh finally completed the program, Henley's 3:5:73 minutes, 57 seconds support culminated in a deeply personal gesture, a brand new Fender Teller accompanied by a handwritten note that 4:0:44 minutes, 4 seconds read, "Welcome back, Joe. Now go play like yourself." Walsh recalled, "I cried when I read that." Don doesn't say much, 4:124 minutes, 12 seconds, but his actions speak volumes. Walsh's recovery was more than a triumphant return to the spotlight. It revealed the 4:204 minutes, 20 seconds profoundly human side of Don Henley, a man often perceived as distant and perfectionistic. 4:304 minutes, 30 seconds. Glenn Frey once explained, "Don's tough because he cares. He wasn't going to let Joe destroy himself." 4:384 minutes, 38 seconds for Walsh. Henley's unwavering support is a debt of gratitude he will carry for the rest of his life, a bond forged in crisis that goes far beyond music. 5:045 minutes, 4 seconds. On January 18, 2016, Glenn Frey, the heart and soul of the Eagles, passed 5:115 minutes, 11 seconds away, leaving a void in the band that could never be replaced. Don Henley, 5:175 minutes, 17 seconds. Frey's close friend and longtime songwriting partner, confronted a grief he rarely allowed others to see. His sorrow kept mostly private, but deeply. 5:265 minutes, 26 seconds felt. Joe Walsh, who had shared decades of music and life with Henley, witnessed this rare vulnerability firsthand. In a 5:345 minutes, 34 seconds 2018 Billboard interview, Walsh recounted, "I had never seen Don that fragile. He was sitting alone in the 5:425 minutes, 42 seconds studio listening to Desperado with red eyes like he was saying goodbye to Glenn." The image revealed a side of 5:505 minutes, 50 seconds Henley fans had never known. A man whose composure masked profound loss. 5:575 minutes, 57 seconds. In the weeks following Frey's funeral, 5:595 minutes, 59 seconds. Henley initially insisted that the Eagles could not continue. Walsh recalled a private meeting at Henley's Los Angeles home. Don told Timothy B. 6:096 minutes, 9 seconds. Schmidt and me, without Glenn, the Eagles are just an empty shell. He didn't want to perform just for money or fame. 6:176 minutes, 17 seconds. Henley's stance reflected decades of loyalty to Frey, the friend and creative partner with whom he had penned classics. 6:256 minutes, 25 seconds. Like Hotel California and New Kid in Town. Yet Walsh and Schmidt refused to let the Eagles fade away. They gently 6:336 minutes, 33 seconds suggested a way forward involving Frey's son, Deacon, in the band to carry on his father's legacy. In the updated history of the Eagles 2016, 6:456 minutes, 45 seconds. Walsh recalled, "I told Don Glenn would want us to keep going, and Deacon is the way to honor him." Henley paused for a 6:536 minutes, 53 seconds long moment before nodding, making the decision to continue the band an emotional and deeply considered choice. 7:007 minutes. The weight of that decision became evident before their first show with Deacon at Classic West in 2017. 7:067 minutes, 6 seconds. Walsh shared a poignant detail. Henley pulled him aside backstage and said, 7:117 minutes, 11 seconds. "Joe, we have to do this for Glenn. We can't mess up." As recounted in a 2017 7:187 minutes, 18 seconds CBS Sunday Morning interview, that sense of responsibility pushed the band to work harder than ever with Henley. 7:257 minutes, 25 seconds overseeing every detail from sound and lighting to stage direction to ensure Frey's legacy was honored. Henley's 7:337 minutes, 33 seconds dedication didn't just preserve the Eagles, it elevated their performances into moving tributes. Timothy B. Schmidt noted in 2017, 7:4:37 minutes, 43 seconds. Don brings his pain into the music. You can hear it when he sings, peaceful, easy feeling. Every note, 7:5:17 minutes, 51 seconds. Every harmony became a testament to the bond between friends, the enduring power of the band, and the memory of the man who had held it all together. 8:028 minutes, 2 seconds. In 1980, the Eagles reached a breaking point. Internal conflicts had simmered for years, and Joe Walsh, known for his 8:108 minutes, 10 seconds reckless behavior and free-spirited nature, became the focal point of Don Henley's frustration. The tension came 8:178 minutes, 17 seconds to a head during the infamous Long Night in Wrong Beach concert in California, 8:218 minutes, 21 seconds, where arguments between band members erupted right on stage. Walsh recalled the chaos in the 2013 documentary 8:298 minutes, 29 seconds History of the Eagles. Don and Glenn Frey were arguing right on stage. Nearly came to blows. I was drunk and cracked to 8:378 minutes, 37 seconds. Few stupid jokes which only made things worse. Henley, trying to keep the band from falling apart, glared at me in 8:448 minutes, 44 seconds. Fury. After the show, Henley confronted Walsh, calling him a saboteur and blaming his careless remarks to the press for 8:538 minutes, 53 seconds, widening the rift. Walsh admitted his mistakes, explaining in a 2016 Rolling Stone interview. 9:029 minutes, 2 seconds. I was drunk a lot, saying random things to journalists about what was going on inside the Eagles. Walsh described the 9:099 minutes, 9 seconds band during this period as like a family going through a divorce, a metaphor that highlighted the strain and emotional 9:169 minutes, 16 seconds volatility. Henley, who felt the band's reputation was at stake, later remarked in History of the Eagles, Joe wasn't 9:249 minutes, 24 seconds malicious, but his lack of control made it nearly impossible for us to keep going. 9:309 minutes, 30 seconds. Despite the criticism, Walsh held no grudge and defended Henley. He acknowledged that the pressure from the 9:379 minutes, 37 seconds massive success of Hotel California and non-stop touring had pushed the group to the edge. In a 2017 SiriusXM interview, 9:479 minutes, 47 seconds, Walsh explained, Don carried